Hatch chili season is here. Hatch chilies, of course, are from New Mexico. They're a big deal in New Mexico, Texas, Colorado, Arizona, and maybe Oklahoma. I don't know about y'all. Here it's a big deal. Our grocery stores, especially H-E-B and stores like it, like we have Berkshire's here, will set up a grill in front of the grocery store. They'll roast the Hatch green chilies and sell it already roasted. But I'm going to do it today from the comfort of the air conditioning. There are many ways to roast chilies. It's probably best on the grill, but I really didn't want to go outside. So I set my oven to broil and I put full on the cookie sheets just because some of the juices come out and they kind of stick and caramelize to the pans.
You just want to make sure these are not dirty. They usually have like wet sand on them and stuff. So I wash these pretty good.
Now I'm just piercing them through so they won't fill full of steam, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I just like to stab things.
We're just gonna put these in here. It's gonna be about 3 to 5 minutes per side. So set your timer. You want it to be real blistered.
I had to look it up to see how long to cook them about. And in this particular instruction set, she had put them in Ziploc bags and then put a damp cloth over them to steam them better, and it actually worked really well. After they're done on one side, of course, you want to take them out and flip them over. I always had pans working in the oven because it's up there at 550 degrees. So every time I took one out to put it in the bags, I put another one in and was flipping it as often as I can. That way it's done quickly and the house doesn't heat up too much. This is how charred they should be or more. There's some green parts on there that won't come off as easily, so get it as charred as you can all over. And then add it to your plastic bag right out of the oven. Like I said, there's many ways to do this. I know a lot of people would do it over their stovetop, probably not a glass stovetop, and then put it in a bowl with plastic wrap over the top. Hopefully you can see the steam coming up from the bag. I wrapped it completely in that towel. I checked it to see if it was cool enough for me to handle, and it wasn't. So I left it even longer, ended up just leaving it overnight and then putting it in the fridge before I went to bed.
These have now been sitting in the fridge for 2 days, but I've been editing video after video, so that's what I've been. They're super easy to peel off. I don't worry about the seeds. You can if you want. But I took the stem off. The greener parts are going to be harder to peel. And I am going to save some of that juice. The juice kind of settled to the bottom, but save that because it's good. And if you open a can of chilies, there's juice in there, so you need to save it. And some of it's going to have that char color and taste. That'll be good.
I say it's a big deal in Texas for Hatch chilies, but it's regionally. My parents grew up in El Paso, so they brought a lot of those traditions with them. So here in East Texas, it's still a big deal. I see people post about it, but I can no longer get a box of Hatch chilies. I just have to fill up little vegetable bags. I have grown a Hatch chili plant before, and I think next year, if I remember, I'll dedicate a whole bed to trying to grow these Hatch chilies. I typically dice them pretty big just because they're not that thick. I've never canned them because I don't want them to be cooked anymore. I could try it one time, but these chilies are precious to me. They only come out one time a year. It used to be they'd sell out really fast. They also don't last that long before you actually process them. I just put 2 big old spoonfuls in there. And nobody ever said, oh, that's too many chilies in my casserole. If you don't like these chilies, you just can't be my friend. I had such a huge harvest of carrots. It was crazy. I know what you're thinking. You can't get through all those. It's just a trick of the camera. They look bigger in the house. Anyway, I got to work peeling all those carrots. I know that some people don't prefer the taste of canned carrots. To us, it doesn't really taste any different from cooking it in a pot. Carrots just tend to take a long time when you buy them fresh, so I'd rather have them canned up and just heat them up. If you home can them, they're not quite as mushy as the store-bought canned.
Okay, I'm gonna fill these up to 1-inch headspace. You can add a half a teaspoon of salt if you want, and then I'm gonna pressure can this for 25 minutes for pint jars. Moment of truth. Didn't screw up.
That was all the carrots I got from my bountiful harvest. So we went out and bought some store-bought after this. So I did 2 days of canning carrots. I was gonna take a thumbnail picture here. So there's me making weird faces. This is the biggest trombuccino I grew this year. I had to cut it in half because it wouldn't fit in the sink. If you saw my video from last week, I made a trombuccino puree. This time I'm just canning it. I also wear gloves because the skin and the outside flesh, or the uncooked flesh, have some kind of irritant in it and it dries out my hands real bad.
Gonna have to be in 1-inch chunks. That'll make it a lot more manageable.
This end is where all the seeds are. Typically with any pumpkin or gourd or anything, you split it in half long ways and then scoop it out with a spoon. I didn't want to for some reason. I guess I thought I could do it faster like a cantaloupe.
Okay, I have a full bowl and I'm tired of peeling the inside, so this is going to the pigs because they love pumpkin. And I have some more in the barn, so they'll get that too. Oh, here come the little ones.
Little ones?
I'm using quart jars and filling them up to a 1-inch headspace. You're supposed to heat them up for like 2 minutes, and I was like, what difference does 2 minutes make? It's supposed to be hot packed, but I did it this way. Follow the rules if you're scared, but this is the way I did it. You can also add about a teaspoon of salt if you want. I just didn't. These processed in the pressure canner for 90 minutes.
This is some frozen deer meat that's getting a little old. Oh, I'm not even going to cook the 2021. A lot of it's from 22. I think that's the last whitetail we got. We still have moose in the freezer from 2 years ago. We have an elk tag and a mule deer tag, and then all the whitetail tags we'd ever want. So I need to use this. What I'm going to do is just stick it in my roaster and cook it up for the dogs. Somebody told me she does this for some of her boars that she's replacing when she culls them. Boars get taint and it doesn't taste good. So she'll get it processed for her dog or her dogs. Putting them in there completely frozen. I've got other stuff to do today. I just finished editing a video and my sister is about to pop with her twins. So I need to finish their toys.
This is actually a really convenient way to just drop them in and walk away, but you do need to chop and stir it occasionally. Before anybody suggests those meat masher things, I do not like to clean those. I'd rather do it like this. I'm pretty hard on utensils because I hit things pretty hard. I couldn't tell you how long this cooked. I don't even know how many pounds I put in there. So just cook it till it's done. I don't know what temperature I put it on. I think I had it on defrost for a while. But if you don't move it around, it will start to overcook the edges. I had a bunch of this liquid in the bottom. It's not all fat, but I wanted to drain it out. Whenever we process our own deer, we add beef or pork fat to it just because it's so lean. And if you're trying to make some kind of meatballs or something like that, you need that fat. 2 of my dogs are seniors, so they don't need the extra fat. Don't tell them they're seniors. For them, I just strained it out through a colander into a bowl. I have it in the colander and it's draining into that bowl. They're both metal because they're hot. So it's going to cool down in here and then I'll package it up. We just add a little bit to the top of their food. It doesn't have all the nutrients to be a complete dog food. I put candied jalapenos on everything. A long time ago, I made a huge batch and they were getting old what was left. So I needed to make a new one stat.
Y'all will be happy to know that I bought some gloves. My family used to buy candied jalapenos from pretty much a farm stand. When we were growing up, I hadn't heard of cowboy candy before. Also, my jalapeno plant is not doing great. This little one. It'll probably do better in the fall. So I'll have to grow 2 next year. So these are from the grocery store. The grocery stores and the jalapeno farmers got together and they were like, let's make a consistent heat level. So if it's not as hot as you remember them, or you don't run into those ones that make you question why you eat jalapenos, it's their fault. It's probably the grocery store's fault. I got my jalapenos here. I added a few more, so it's a little over 3 pounds. I usually have more of the junk you put on it though. So now hopefully I have enough jalapenos to cover that. Oh, now I need 2 cups of apple cider vinegar, 6 cups of sugar. Seems like a lot, but remember you're making a lot of jars and you don't use that many. I have to concentrate now or I'll lose count. Now, a half teaspoon of turmeric, half teaspoon of celery seed, 3 teaspoons of granulated garlic, 1, 2, 3, and 1 teaspoon cayenne pepper.
And you're bringing this to a boil. After it comes to a hard boil, meaning you can't stir out the bubbles, let it simmer for 5 minutes.
Reduce heat and simmer 5 minutes. Now we need to bring it up to high again and add the jalapenos in. I want to attempt to make these crispy. I'm going to use this calcium chloride, just 1/8 of a teaspoon in each one. No harm if it doesn't do anything. They just get so mushy. It's at a raging boil, or whatever they call hard boil. So I turned it down and we're gonna let it simmer for 4 minutes now. Now we're just gonna get the jalapenos. You know what I'm gonna do. Bring that closer.
The recipe says to use a slotted spoon, but I do what I want. Then you're going to fill the jars with the juice up to 1/4 inch headspace.
These are going to be sticky, so wipe them good. And these were water bath canned for 10 minutes. The extra juice is going to my neighbor. He likes to just put some jalapenos in there and just ferment them in the fridge. So he'll keep using this over and over.
If you like this video, feel free to subscribe. I upload some Wednesdays and all Sundays, and you can keep watching us grow our farm. Have a good one.